Evelin Lindner. Her work focuses on human dignity and humiliation. She is the founding president of Human Dignity and Humiliation Studies, a global transdisciplinary fellowship of concerned academics, practitioners, activists, artists, and others who wish to promote dignity and transcend humiliation. She is also a co-founder of the World's Dignity University Initiative, which includes Dignity Press of World Dignity University Press. Dr. Lindner has a dual education as a medical doctor and a psychologist with 2 PhDs, Doctor of medical doctor and Doctor of Psychology. She lives and teaches globally. Amongst others, she is also a research fellow at the University of Oslo since 1997, affiliated with Columbia University in New York City since 2001, with the Advanced Consortium on Cooperation, Conflict and Complexity, AC4, and with the Maison des Sciences at Lyon in Paris since 2003. Evelin Lindner's first book, Making Enemies, Humiliation and International Conflict, was honored as the outstanding academic title by the journal Choice for 2007 in the USA. She published her second book in 2009 on emotion and conflict. She has her third book on gender humiliation and global security that was published in 2010 with a foreword by Desmond Tutu. It's being highly recommended by Choice. Her fourth book, published in 2012, World Dignity University Press, is titled A Dignity Economy. She has also written numerous articles and book chapters. Please see the documentation. For this morning's talk, she will speak on the topic of what is urban dignity and how do we achieve it. Please be welcome.
Everybody, welcome. Have you slept well?
Yes.
Lovely to see you all. My name is Evelin, and I'm happy to be here. I'm so impressed by all your work. I'm so thankful to Kjell and to the faculty here for welcoming me here. As you see, my PowerPoint presentation is not there yet, so I try to start without my PowerPoint presentation. I want to ask a question to you, a first question, and Bisakorn will translate this question. How many of you feel a responsibility for Thailand?
กี่คนบ้างที่มีความรู้สึกรับผิดชอบต่อประเทศไทยยกมือค่ะ
Very good. I'm very glad. I congratulate you because there are people in this world who do not feel responsible for more than themselves. You feel responsible for a country, and I congratulate you. I think this is very important, and this is why I am here.
แสดงความยินดีด้วยที่รู้สึกอย่างนั้นแล้วก็นี่แหละคือเหตุผลที่ทำไมฉันถึงมาในวันนี้
How many of you feel a responsibility for our planet with its people and animals?
มีกี่คนในห้องนี้ที่มีความรู้สึกรับผิดชอบต่อสัตว์ทั้งปวงต้นไม้ทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างที่มีชีวิตบนโลกใบนี้ยกมือค่ะ
Wow, I'm so happy to see that. I'm so happy to see that because this is my message. Congratulations. This is why I'm here, because you are needed not only for Thailand, you are needed for the entire world.
เพราะว่าจริงๆแล้วไม่ใช่แต่เฉพาะความรับผิดชอบต่อประเทศไทยที่เราควรมีมันน่าจะเป็นความรับผิดชอบของทั้งโลกใบนี้เลยนะคะ
Last year, several months in South Africa, I was staying with a professor. Her name is Catherine. She is from Uganda and she has the mandate by the South African government to reform the South African university system. So I stayed with her 6 weeks and she made a picture, and I hope we can see that picture in a minute. It's the black people fighting against the white people to overcome colonization. And when you see them fighting, you see that they are standing in the mouth of a crocodile. So whoever is winning, the black or the white, all will be eaten by the crocodile. I wanted to congratulate you for yesterday because there I understood that you have a responsibility for Thailand. Are some of those who were here yesterday here now? No. Oh yes, lovely. I congratulate you for this lovely presentation. This is the image. You see? These are the black people fighting to liberate themselves from colonization, and they all will be eaten by a crocodile. And this is the situation we are in today as a human family on our planet. We will all be eaten. The local conflicts are secondary, and this is the message of my talk. I want to draw your attention to the fact that we need to be globally responsible. We cannot solve our problems only locally. Why? Why can we not solve our problems just in Thailand? You were right yesterday, Thailand is different, but Thailand is also similar to other parts of the world. What is similar? In June last year, there was a conference in Copenhagen on sustainable business. The Unilever representative presented a wonderful forecast for profit for the next years. China, India, Thailand, Brazil, they all want to buy the Unilever products. Wonderful. Growth. At the end of the presentation, he said, but this is only possible if we have 6 to 9 planets. Do we have 6 to 9 planets? Do you understand that? That we don't have 6 to 9 planets? That we cannot continue as we do now? We will all be eaten? I wrote a book which is called A Dignity Economy. And whoever wants this book, I will send it to you as a PDF file. Just tell me. A Dignity Economy. What can we do? How do we understand the situation? What should we do? We have to look at our planet from the bird's perspective. We have to look like an astronaut on our planet. And what happens if we do that? Do you know that the dinosaurs, they survived 135 million years on our planet? Do you know that we human beings with the body, modern body and soul, that we are here only 200,000 years on this planet? And if we are not careful, we might die out quite soon. So we need you, therefore you are so important. So here you see, we started in Africa about 150,000, 200,000 years ago, and we happily populated our planet. We were wandering, always the next valley was untouched and there was lots of wild food. And you see, the party was over about 12,000 years ago. The first 95% of our history is different to the past 5% of our history. Because at some point, and it started about 12,000 years ago, the next valley was taken by other people, and one could not just wander further because our planet is limited in size. So about 12,000 years ago, the party started to be over, and very different conditions surrounded us human beings on our planet. What happened in the past 5% of our history? We began with agriculture, and if you plant in spring and you want to reap in autumn, you get afraid of the neighbor that the neighbor will take your land. So you build defenses. Your neighbor gets afraid and builds defenses too. And so you almost automatically get into fights and into war. This is the map of Europe some few hundred years ago. Everybody against everybody. Everybody afraid of its neighbors. At that time, there was one motto: if you want peace, prepare for war. And in this situation, we had hierarchical societies that developed, with a strong leader against the neighboring strong leader with their followers. Hierarchical societies. And you see a manifestation of hierarchy here. You see that this table is higher, you see here is the barrier, and you sit further down. You see that? So you see a manifestation of hierarchy here in this room. So this was the past 5% of our history on our planet. Almost all people have lived like that, in hierarchical societies who were pitted against each other in conflict, in potential conflict. Today, we have a window of opportunity to change that. For the first time, we know that we are one world. We can see our planet from outside. We understand that we are one family on one tiny planet, and that we have to cooperate. So we can dismantle the hierarchy. Therefore, I want to stay there and talk to you from there. I want to dismantle the hierarchy myself. Now, due to the computer, I have to stand here. But my plan was to stand there, because I want to show you how to dismantle this hierarchy. And Trina, I will need you now to show the diagram. And I want to show you what is the future. What is the future? So, you see that? It's this symbol there. The line 8, the infinity symbol, the Möbius strip. And what does it show? It shows that I'm not conquering Trina, I'm not pushing her down, and I'm not divided from her. We are two, but we are connected. We are two. It's in philosophy. It's non-dualism. It's a symbol for non-dualism. So this is the future. So your responsibility is for the entire world population to bring this transition about, from hierarchy to dialogue, from domination to partnership, from honor to dignity. You remember yesterday the film, Banas? This was the world of honor. You remember that? Now we can exit from that culture and we can enter in a world of partnership and dialogue and dignity. But we have to do it. We have to do it. So if we look at the history of us human beings on our planet, then we have two very important turning points. The first one is here. For the first 95% of our history, we were happily wandering further and further on our planet, populating all our planet. Here, about 12,000 years ago, suddenly circumscription hit us. It's an anthropological term, which means suddenly we felt that there is a limitation. The planet is limited in surface. Then we adapted and we did vertical expansion. We built dominator societies, we dominated each other, and we dominated our planet. We learned domination. This was our adaptation. Today, we live here. And again, we feel that everything is limited. We feel not only the surface of our planet is limited, water is limited, clean water, clean air, minerals, everything is limited. We feel that. So this is where we are now. And what should we do now? Or what do we do now? This is what we do. We maximize domination. Here we adapted, we learned how to dominate, how to press out more resources from where we stand, press out more from our earth, ecological resources and social resources. We invented slavery, for example. Today, we maximize this adaptation. This is the curve of growth. If you hear in the news, in television, that there is talk of economic growth, it's this curve. It's an exponential curve. And basically, it is impossible in a finite environment. It's an impossible strategy. So what do we have to do? We have to learn to live in circles. And many of you have learned that at home, I'm sure. To live in circles, in dialogue, in partnership. And until the end of the Cold War, there was no real opportunity to manifest that. But since the end of the Cold War, we really have a window of opportunity to manifest that we are one family. We can manifest what Gandhi said, there is no path to peace, peace is the path. We can manifest this because we now understand that we are one family. At the moment, we are like Titanic. The rich people, they are on the first floor, and they paint their cabins pink, and they play golf, and they are very happy there. And then you have the poor people down here. They try to come up. And the rich people try to hinder them. With your passport, it's not easy to travel to Europe, for example. So this is the barrier here. While I have a European passport, I can go everywhere. So everybody has, it's the awareness on this conflict here. And Thailand wants to come up here, so they struggle to come up here. And nobody goes to the bridge of the boat, trying to save it from going down. This is my alarm clock to tell me that my time is over. So, since my time is over, I want to end here. I want to really invite you. I'm so happy that you feel responsible. Please, widen your scope of responsibility to the entire human family. Do not wait for other people. Learn, study, understand. What do we as a human family on this planet have to do that we, our children, will have a dignified future? Please, we need your help. Don't copy the West. Stop copying the West. Look at your own resources, at your indigenous people, at your minorities. Look at all of those people who know about solidarity, about partnership, about dialogue. I have lived for 40 years globally. I'm at home on all continents. And I say that to you on behalf of the human family. I invite you to take responsibility for the entire human family. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lindner, for your wonderful wake-up call. It's certainly something that needs to be said not only once a year, but a lot more often than that. So at this stage, can we take questions now? Yes. Would anybody like to ask a question? Or any contributing comment would be a good time.
What was your inspiration to do this, Evelin?
What was my
Inspiration, yes.
I'm born into a displaced family. My family comes from an area in Europe that does not exist anymore. I was born into a family with the identity of here where I am not at home, and there is no home for me on this planet. So if you ask me where are you from, I am from displacement. I am from homelessness. So I lived globally for 40 years, and now the entire planet is my home. All of you are my family. All of you, my family. So I have found my place everywhere.
Thank you, Dr. Lindner. Could you please elaborate on the area of the relation? What can music, what can the artist do in order to support your presentation? And unfortunately, there was no time for you to continue. I see that was your intention.
That's right. Yes, and also to speak about urban dignity was my intention. Now this part is somehow shortened out. Art and urban dignity. We will later see a contribution from Dan Baron. And I can make the introduction to him now. We will see him speak to us on video. Dan Baron is in the Amazon in Brazil. In 2012, some might know that there was the Rio +20 meeting in Rio de Janeiro. You have heard about that? About 30,000 people gathered in Rio de Janeiro to think about the environment of our planet. And Dan Baron is in the Amazon in Brazil. No, it's the same country, Rio de Janeiro, Amazon. And Dan Baron wrote to me, please do not go to Rio de Janeiro, because they have no idea of the reality on the ground. Come to us, to the Amazon, and see the reality. How indigenous people are housed, are pushed out when there are minerals in the ground that mining companies want to get out. And he invited me, I went there, we made an alternative Rio plus 20 week there. And Dangaron is in a small community of 30,000 people in a slum, and I stayed with them, with him and his wife in the middle of it. And this slum, the mining company who is in power there wants to have this slum out. So Dangaron is in this part of the city, and with art he strengthens this community. And you will see that later. When I was there, I saw how this community is exposed. All the youngsters get gratis crack, then they are dependent, then they become drug dealers. When I was there, here one was executed in the next house, next week there was one executed in the next house. The community is systematically weakened so that they will leave. And the entire city is in the pocket of the big mining company. They pay all the art in the city. All the festivals, all the churches are paid by the mining company so that they will not speak up critically. The only people who refuse to be paid by this mining company are these people who have somehow become aware through being with Dangaron and his wife. So you will see that later, how art strengthens the community to stand up when a whole area is being destroyed, socially and ecologically. The rivers where the children were swimming is too toxic to swim in now. And I stayed there, I saw it with my own eyes, and already in Rio de Janeiro they had no idea, and they would not support these people there. So they just now are in big struggle with the Ministry of Culture in Brasilia, because they are also in the pocket of the big mining company.
Thank you once again for your presentation. I'm sure the questions will continue throughout the day and possibly into after the afternoon session.